You mentioned observing Mr. Kelly and Mr. Combs speaking privately. But aside from what you saw, was there any documentation of the night's events? Any recordings, texts, emails? Anything that could support what you told the court? The witness gave a slow, almost reluctant nod. There were text messages between me and a colleague who was also there. We were both uncomfortable by how quickly the atmosphere shifted after Mr. Kelly arrived. I messaged her during the event. Did you provide those messages to the prosecution? Yes. That one word, yes, changed the temperature of the courtroom. It introduced a new dimension, evidence. This wasn't just memory or opinion anymore. This was tangible, time-stamped proof. The prosecution asked for the messages to be admitted as evidence. And though the defense predictably objected, the judge allowed it after brief deliberation. The courtroom projector buzzed to life, displaying a screenshot of one of the texts. The font was small, the background dim, but the message was clear. He's here. I can't believe it. RK just walked in, and now Sean's shutting everything down. Something's wrong. The jurors leaned forward. One of them squinted to read every word. The defense lawyer whispered furiously to his co-counsel, clearly trying to spin an angle. The prosecution, but it wasn't working. The courtroom was locked in. Can you confirm this was phone? 13? Yeah. And this was the did she I had back in 2009. It's happening again. That message dropped like a hammer. Brief. The implication was clear. This wasn't a time. The witness friend had seen this kind of stuff before. And if that was true, the case was no longer just about one night, a pattern. The judge leaned forward now, studying the messages closely while the jury scribbled notes. Diddy, meanwhile, but his fingers tapped in a jittery rhythm, fast, faster, like a man trying to control in a room that was him. Then came that truly took the courtroom. The prosecutor stepped. Ms. Harper, you mentioned something felt wrong. It reminded your friend of that. The room dropped to a colder silence than before. The witness swallowed hard. She was working at a different estate back then. A party, similar crowd, music industry people. She told me something went down that night. She never said exactly what, but she quit her job the next day. Told me she didn't want to be part of that world anymore. A whisper rippled across the gallery, barely audible, but still enough to make the bailiff give a warning glance. Everyone was sitting on a wire. The lines being drawn in this courtroom weren't just about Diddy's legal battles. They were about a long, rotting shadow that now seemed to stretch back years, maybe decades. One that had been hidden behind fame, behind power, behind platinum records and sold-out tours. What had started as one man's trial was beginning to look like a window into a much bigger, more disturbing reality. And no one, not the jury, not the judge, not the public, was ready for what might come through that window next. Every eye in the courtroom was locked in, not because of theatrics or outbursts, but because the story unfolding was more chilling than fiction. The witness had painted a picture, not just of a single night filled with unease, but of a much larger, more sinister culture to stand. An older man in his late 50s, with silver at his temples and a voice that carried calm authority. He was introduced as a former security contractor, one who had worked several events over the years for various celebrities. Not exclusive to Diddy, but well familiar with the circles he moved in. As he took the oath and settled into his seat, the air in the courtroom shifted again. Everyone sensed it. This man wasn't here to tell a secondhand story. He was here to confirm everything. The prosecutor approached slowly. Mr. Warren, can you tell the court where you were working on the night of June 13, 2016. I was part of the secondary perimeter team for the Combs estate in Los Angeles. He answered plainly. Were you given specific instructions about the night's guests? Yes. We were told to expect high-profile attendees. That discretion was key. Phones were to be confiscated. Anyone caught taking photos would be removed immediately. Was that a common rule at such events? Not uncommon, but this one was different. The prosecutor didn't rush. Different how? The man leaned forward slightly, voice lowering just enough to force everyone to lean in too. There was a list, not just of names, but zones. Who could be where? When R. Kelly arrived, 2 zones, Zone A and Zone C, were shut off. We were ordered to double the guards on the north wing and to keep the staircases clear. Who gave that order? Security. But it was obvious the chain of command went higher. The implication hung in the air like smoke. If those zones were closed off and reinforced when R. Kelly arrived, what was happening inside? Did you witness anything concerning activity? But I was close to clearance movement. That's not a protocol. You never abandon your station unless it's life or death. When I returned, one of the guests was being pushed out quickly. She looked distressed and crying. The words hit hard. Distressed, crying. This wasn't entertainment anymore. This was beginning to shape of something much darker. Something that ended up being used, manipulated. The process passed. I tried, but 2 weeks later, sat in some again because everyone were afraid. Just it was a glimpse into chivalry that operated well and selected. The system where people like Mr. Warren were expendable the moment they saw too much. The defense scrambled, but their examination fell. They tried to discredit him, bringing up the lack of direct proof, calling his circumstantial. The security contractor was calm, honest, experienced. His words weren't flashy. And believe this. Carved it deep into the room. I've guarded politicians character night, but that night he paused, swallowing. That was the only night I went home, my door, and stayed awake, wondering if I should have broken protocol and walked upstairs. No one moved. He just adjusted his robe, his face unreadable. Diddy sat still, but the twitch in his calm exterior. The jury, you can see it. They were no longer just listening. They were believing. The prosecution just introduced art. They didn't window any deeper, more disturbing truth. And the wind blowing through it was cold. The courtroom didn't recover. Really. After Mr. Warren's testimony, it was as if something sacred had been broken. A quiet understanding of things, especially in trials, stayed